Hello, my name is T. Adela, and I was a pain in the teacher's class, but I turned my life around to become a successful professional. I'm the co-founder of Delightfully Understandable, where simply our mission is to end the school to prison pipeline. But before anything, I'm a father. It's me with the babies. For the next 10 minutes, we're going to take Nike's advice and not pretend like there aren't serious issues for us to solve. A study from Yale University proved that Black males encounter racial bias in preschool. 4-year-olds, y'all. This was life. With Big Black had a funny sounding name. They tried to put me on Ritalin and convince me I had behavioral issues I didn't. And while I came through that to graduate salutatorian from college and do digital marketing for some big names, including P&G, most of my peers did not, thanks to the school to prison pipeline, which is a set of practices and policies that push at risk kids in failing schools out of the class and directly into prison. It's big business. The state of Ohio spends over 200 grand per kid. And while lucrative, the pipeline is to education what strip mining is to energy, and that it's destructive and unsustainable, as most ex-cons never get back on their feet financially. So it removes young people from the economy permanently. James Smart, because MarTech is in demand. Now, marketing technology or MarTech is any tech where the business model is marketing based. So, Facebook ads, Google ads, the recommendations on Amazon, all MarTech. I have an example of a Facebook ad here. And companies can't find pros fast enough, keyword being professional. So, not IG famous, but an actual career. We kill both birds with the same stone, get them out of the school to prison pipeline and into a MarTech career. There are two sides to the business. On the B2C or consumer side, I've authored 2 books available on Amazon. Go that, leave your man 5 stars. And the image on the bottom is of the game. More on that in a sec. And then on the B2B side, we're developing a year-long vocation program similar to welding or phlebotomy, but MarTech. And this includes the books, the game, as well as the student workbook, teacher's guide, lesson plan app, and PD for the teachers. But why? You might be asking. I mean, we just talked about why, but why STEM via schools specifically? And to answer that, let's take a quick trip down memory lane. So after the 2016 US presidential election, Facebook gets in trouble. Zuck gets caught on Capitol Hill and asks directly, how do you make money if you don't charge for your service? His answer, we run ads. And there was an implied in his smirk. And the reason that this is germane to our conversation is that on the one hand, you have the tech, and then on the other hand, you have how the tech makes money. Those are two different things, two different careers. But STEM completely ignores this. So the image on the bottom is of a great event in town called Tech Fest. And without throwing any shade at Tech Fest, it is a perfect example of the blind spot in STEM, and that it's very robotics and code centric. And going there, you never know MarTech was a career path. So what we've done is we've taken the great expanse that is STEM and reduced it down to code, which I know fighting words for all the programmers, and I want smoke. Because you know, it takes a special type of person to sit there and stare at some green letters on a black screen all day. Even this poor coder had to take a TikTok break. So if I'm a young person deciding my career, if tech equals code, but I don't want to code, that means that tech isn't for me, which is inaccurate. That's highly inaccurate. But that ain't the kid's fault. That's STEM's fault. And at the risk of sounding like Captain Obvious, ain't but one Google. There's only one Amazon. Even locally, there's only one Mile 2. And yeah, they're big. They only need so many coders. And in places like Seattle or San Francisco, throw a stone in any direction and you will hit a coder. Whereas there aren't near as many marketing technologists to run campaigns and do strategy. So to the question of why schools, the image on the bottom is of Willie Sutton, got his own federal law named after him. This man done knocked over 70 something banks and jewelry stores, escaped from prison 3 times. You know how bright you got to be to pull off something like that? And Vincent Bragg, co founder of Concreates, a creative agency staffed exclusively by ex-offenders, says that creativity without opportunity equals criminality. I'm trying to flip the script to creativity plus opportunity equals abundance. But urban culture being what it is, oftentimes our kids' creativity expresses itself via rap. In urban culture, we have what are known as grills. They're lavishly adorned teeth coverings common among rappers. So, in keeping with our culture, I'm developing a game called Bang Your Fangs. Bang Your Fangs is to digital business strategy what Monopoly is to real estate investment. But instead of buying houses and hotels, you buy gems for your grill, and it introduces kids to the FANG companies, which is an acronym that stands for Facebook, Apple, Amazon, and Google, four of the five most valuable companies in America, all of which are MarTech companies. So here's a vision of what the game is going to look like. In marketing, we have a concept known as the funnel, which just describes moving someone from awareness through loyalty. And each section of the game corresponds to a section of the funnel. So as kids roll the dice and go around the board, they learn about awareness via search engines, consideration via social media, etc. And again, not tech for tech's sake, but how we get this money with the tech. And it's sufficiently different from Monopoly so as not to infringe. The plan is to start here in Ohio, and then after we become a best practice, expand to the rest of the Rust Belt, and then after the Rust Belt, the rest of post-industrial America. The state of Ohio has a student population of 1.7 million. Assuming about 15% need intervention, that's an addressable audience of 255,000 at a 1% conversion rate. Because most curriculum decision makers have never heard of MarTech, we'll still enroll 2,500 kids across 20 or so schools. At an average price of $50,000 per school, that's income of $1 million. And that 50 grand is a quarter of the 200 grand the state spends to incarcerate youth. So if our program keeps one kid from going to juvie, it would have paid for itself four times over. But college grads are a net positive to society as they contribute almost $400,000 more in taxes than they receive in benefits and are five times less likely to go to jail. So on the consumer side, the global gaming industry is a whopping $180 billion. That's more than professional sports and movies combined. Game-based learning is about 30 billion. We get a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of that market. That's still a million downloads at just under 10 bucks, which is just under $10 million. But Sean Monahan of The Guardian says that video games have replaced music as the most important aspect of youth culture. Let that soak in. No matter what generation you're in, there's a song for your generation. The Beatles, NWA, but going forward, it's games. Our advisory board is official award-winning educator Hotep at a Hustle University, Innovation Super Hub Trep House, and We the Plug, a global community of Black and Latinx founders. Our team consists of myself, pro marketing technologist with almost 20 years of experience, and Marie Vera, who has a master's in global health and brings a holistic view to solving social ills. Our ask is that in addition to making us a winner, a design sprint be held on our behalf where teams compete for the opportunity to work with us and build out the game as well as the app. And we are requesting that it be built on a no code platform such as bubble.io, as well as assistance with copyrights, patents, and other legal protections. And last but not least, corporate partners to hire our grads. So please visit us at STEM Whispers and follow us on social channels at STEM Whispers and be a part of the solution. Where at STEM Whispers, we sprout scholars from statistics to significance.